So we are taught from a really young age that holding your tongue is like basically a superpower.
Oh, absolutely. It's the ultimate sign of maturity, right?
I mean, think about your own week, Someone cuts you off in traffic, you take a deep breath, a coworker takes credit for your idea, and you just, you force a smile. You play the team player.
Yeah, you just swallow the grievance. We're totally conditioned to believe that keeping the peace is what keeps society functioning.
Exactly. But what if that friction reducer is actually toxic? Like, what if every single time you bite your tongue, you're secretly drinking this tiny drop of poison and you don't even realize it until it's way too late?
That is well, it's a pretty unsettling premise, but it's entirely fascinating. It completely flips our standard operating procedure on its head.
It really does. So today we're doing a deep dive into a really profound, honestly kind of rebellious piece of philosophy.
Yeah, it's definitely provocative.
It comes from an essay titled Dancing the Tango on the Edge of Death. It's written by Su Feng, and it's the 61st article of a larger work called the Revelation chapter.
And our mission for this deep dive is to unpack this radical redefinition of authenticity that the author presents.
Right, because the premise here is that a true understanding of life only comes from, rejecting all those societal masks we wear, facing reality head on.
Yes, and boldly expressing our rawest, most unfiltered emotions. It goes way beyond just surviving a tough week.
Right.
The author is talking about actively mocking death itself and making a conscious choice to live with absolutely zero emotional backlog.
Zero emotional backlog. I mean, that phrase really sticks with you. So to understand what it actually means to dance the tango on the edge of death, we first have to figure out how this text defines that edge.
Right.
And the entry point the author uses is actually this very specific cultural lens, the age of 60.
Yeah, so in traditional Chinese culture, turning 60 isn't just, another birthday. It marks the completion of a sexagenary cycle, which is known as a huajie.
A huajie, okay.
Basically, it's a system that combines 10 heavenly stems and 12 earthly branches. They rotate together, and it takes exactly 60 years to complete one full combination.
Oh, wow. So it's like a cosmic reset.
Exactly. So when you hit 61, you have essentially completed a full, mathematically perfect cycle of time. You've lived a complete life.
So hitting 60 is basically like finishing the main quest and all the side missions of life?
Yeah.
You are officially standing on the edge of death.
The societal expectation is that your structural life is finished, but the text uses this brilliant fable to illustrate what happens when you just completely refuse to accept that expiration date.
Okay, I love this story. So
Yeah.
There's a villager named Bu He, and it's definitely no accident that his name translates literally to no regrets.
Not an accident at all. The ultimate foreshadowing.
Right. So Bu He is scheduled to die on the morning of his 60th year. The Grim Reaper sends a messenger to pick him up and take him to the Three Realms Transit Continent for reincarnation.
Right, standard procedure.
But when the messenger arrives, the transfer just fails. Like the message of death is literally bounced back.
Bounce back.
Yeah, and the reason given is that it's rejected by Bu He's non-material structure, which, let's pause here. What exactly is a non-material structure?
So you can think of it as your spiritual DNA or, your emotional operating system.
Okay, emotional operating system. I like that.
We have our physical bodies, bones, muscles, organs, but the non-material structure is the energetic blueprint behind all of that. It's built out of your consciousness, your joys, your traumas, and your emotional backlog.
Got it. So the messenger of death shows up expecting to find a typical 60-year-old on the edge of death.
Right. Someone frail with dull eyes, maybe a stiff mind. Someone whose operating system is completely bogged down with the malware of resignation and decay.
But instead, he finds Bu He acting like a hyperactive child. I mean, the imagery in the essay is so vivid.
It's great.
Bu He is out in the woods carrying a basket, singing at the top of his lungs. He's imitating birdsong. He's literally racing rabbits.
Racing rabbits, yep.
Chasing butterflies, tucking wildflowers into his coat pocket. He is just entirely carefree.
His operating system is running perfectly. Because he has that absolute vitality, his non-material structure hasn't downloaded the normal societal program of decay.
Right, so the Grim Reaper's software is just suddenly incompatible with him.
Exactly. The death message cannot compute. The Grim Reaper basically looks at this guy and realizes, oh, he's dancing on the edge of death. He still loves life.
So he gets an expansion.
He does. Bu He is granted another full cycle, 60 more years, pushing his lifespan all the way to age 120.
It totally reminds me of the moment your car's warranty expires.
Yeah.
You hit that specific mileage, and everyone just expects the engine to start breaking down.
Oh, for sure. You're supposed to drive carefully and wait for the scrapyard.
Exactly. But Buhui's car is somehow, like, flying down the highway with the windows down and the music blasting.
That's a perfect analogy.
But, I mean, we have to look at the mechanics of this. Is the author literally saying that if you go outside right now and start chasing a rabbit, you'll become immortal?
Well, no. The physical act of chasing a rabbit isn't the point. It's the psychological mechanism beneath it.
Right.
By retaining a childlike heart and absolute, unadulterated joy, his mindset becomes fundamentally incompatible with decay. The author's core belief here is that the people who truly grasp life's depth aren't the ones who just avoided hardship.
It's not about an easy life.
No, not at all. It's the people who have experienced profound despair, faced countless struggles, and yet they can still laugh in the face of adversity. They dance the tango on the edge.
So joy is almost like a rebellion.
Exactly. In this framework, joy isn't just an emotion. It is a biological and spiritual act of rebellion against the end.
I mean, it's a beautiful concept when you're alone in the woods like Buhui. But the real test of this philosophy isn't in isolation.
Right?
It's in our relationships.
Oh, absolutely.
Like racing rabbits is easy when nobody is watching. But how do you maintain that joyful, unblocked operating system when you have a family to feed and bills to pay and compromises to make?
And that brings us to a starkly grounded, really emotional anecdote in the text about the masks we wear for the people we love.
The tragedy of the fish head.
Yes, the tragedy of the fish head. It's a heartbreakingly common dynamic that, according to the author, completely exposes the danger of those masks.
Yeah, so the author shares the story of an elderly mother who grew up in extreme poverty. And out of sheer devotion to her family, whenever they miraculously managed to have fish for dinner, she would tell everyone that she absolutely loved eating the fish heads.
Right. By doing that, she ensured her husband and kids could eat the actual meat.
And she does this for decades. It just becomes an accepted, undisputed fact in their household. Mom loves fish heads.
She builds an entire identity around a mask of preference, purely to hide her sacrifice.
Right. Fast forward to when she's an old woman, hospitalized on her deathbed. Her children, wanting to show their deep love and filial piety, go out of their way to bring her a bunch of specially prepared fish heads.
Oh, man.
And it is only at this very final moment, staring death right in the face, that she finally admits the truth. She says, "I never liked fish heads. Our family was poor. Someone had to eat them, so I just said I liked it. Please, just bring me some fish meat."
And in that final breathless moment, the text states she, quote, finally danced her tango on the edge of death.
Okay, but I really have to push back on the author's framing here.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, isn't a mother sacrificing for her children a profoundly beautiful thing? It's like the ultimate expression of care.
It is, traditionally, yeah.
It's like sitting through a terrible 3-hour movie just because your partner loves it, and you pretend you enjoyed it, so you don't ruin their night. You take the smaller piece of pie, you eat the fish head. Isn't that just what love is? Why does the text view her lifelong, quiet sacrifice as a tragedy?
Well, the text doesn't deny that the intention is rooted in love, but it asks us to look at the psychological cost of chronic self-erasure.
Self-erasure.
Yeah. The author explicitly argues that living under the weight of suppressed emotions, even if you are suppressing them out of love, binds human nature. It literally makes life bitter.
So it's about the emotional backlog again.
Exactly. The tragedy isn't that she loved her family. The tragedy is that she denied her family the opportunity to love her real self. She waited until her literal deathbed to dance the tango and state her true desire.
Wow.
She spent an entire lifetime eating the bones because she was afraid to ask for the meat.
That reframing changes everything. I mean, if you are constantly hiding your true desires, the people around you are only loving a projection. They're loving the mask.
And this leads to a massive pivot in the philosophy of the text. We aren't just at the edge of death at age 60, like in the traditional Wajia cycle.
Right, because the world is unpredictable.
Exactly. The text specifically cites illness, sudden car accidents, wars, unexpected disasters like the 9/11 attacks or coal mine explosions. The edge of death isn't a calendar date in the future.
Every age is the edge of death.
Yes, we are all standing there right now.
We are on the edge this very second, which I guess brings up the friction point, right? If we could go at any moment, why do we keep eating the fish heads? What stops us from asking for the meat today?
And the answer the author provides is a blistering critique of one of society's most deeply ingrained values, tolerance.
Oh, this is where it gets really interesting. The text points a very critical finger at tolerance.
It really does. The philosophy moves from personal reflection into a sweeping, radical social critique here. The author boldly claims that sayings we've all grown up with, like, the beauty of restraint lies in tolerance, or forbearance is a virtue, are hypocritical constructs.
The text even specifically calls out phrases like truthfulness, compassion, and tolerance, arguing they are designed to suppress human nature.
Yes, it's a very uncompromising stance.
The critique goes so far as to claim that the Chinese nation has struggled in misery for 5,000 years, largely because of this overglorified virtue of tolerance.
And obviously, we're not taking a stance on that historical claim, we're just reporting what the author is arguing. But it's a massive, sweeping provocation.
Right, exactly. But if we look past the shock value of that statement and just examine the mechanics of what the author is arguing, it's about the physics of suppressed emotion.
The physics of it, yes. Because minor grievances, when they are constantly pushed down in the name of tolerance, they don't just evaporate.
No, they accumulate. The text argues they build into a silent volcano of anger, and there's a brilliant quote referenced in the essay from the famous writer Lu Sun.
Right, either explode in silence or perish in it.
Yes. But the wild idea posed by Westphing here is that we shouldn't do either. We shouldn't explode, and we certainly shouldn't perish in silence.
Right, the author argues for a completely different path.
Like, instead of using the cliché idea of a pressure cooker where the valve is welded shut, let's think about tolerance as emotional credit card debt.
Oh, I like that.
Society tells us to just put our minor grievances on the credit card. Smile at the rude coworker, ignore the slight from a family member. You are buying temporary fake peace in the moment.
But you are accumulating massive compound interests.
Exactly. And eventually, that interest is going to bankrupt the entire relationship, or the kitchen's going to blow up, if we go back to the pressure cooker.
That is the perfect way to look at it. If we connect this to the bigger picture the author's painting, the cognitive load of carrying that debt just taxes your nervous system. By refusing to endure small injustices, by addressing them immediately, we prevent the eventual bankruptcy.
So peace isn't achieved by biting your tongue.
According to this text, no. True societal progression towards civilization, truth, goodness, beauty, and rationality is achieved by not suppressing human nature. It's achieved by speaking your mind the second you feel it.
It's completely abandoning keep calm and carry on, and replacing it with speak up and clear the ledger instantly.
Instantly, yes.
Which, I mean, makes perfect sense when we talk about it abstractly. But what does dancing the tango actually look like in practice, according to the text? Because the practical guide offered here is, honestly, incredibly chaotic.
Chaotic is a good word for it. It demands absolute immediacy, no waiting for the perfect moment.
Right.
The text urges readers to act now. If you love someone, but you have been holding back out of fear or constraint, you are instructed to go to them immediately and say clearly, I like you so much.
Okay, that's sweet.
If you admire someone, don't keep it a secret. Send them a fax, make a phone call, or write them a letter to express your feelings right then and there.
I mean, expressing love and adoration immediately is beautiful. I think everyone can get behind that. But the ledger has two sides.
It does.
And this is where my jaw dropped. If you hate someone, the text dictates that you need to dance the tango and tell them boldly, and this is the direct quote, "You old fool, I hate you."
The directness is the entire point for the author.
But it gets even more intense.
Yeah.
If you can't deliver that message face-to-face, the text suggests you should call them or have someone relay the message.
Yep.
It even suggests using the internet to write an article mocking and ridiculing them, just to let out the anger in your heart. Let's pause and really look at that. I have to ask, is the author literally just giving us a permission slip to be internet trolls?
It totally sounds like it, right?
Yeah. Like, are we supposed to start online flame wars to reach spiritual enlightenment? Burn all our bridges.
Well, this raises an important question about the author's true intent. It's very easy to look at the suggestion of writing a mocking internet article and interpret it as an endorsement of cruelty.
Right.
But if we parse the psychology behind these provocative instructions, the target of the anger almost doesn't matter. The author isn't advocating for malicious cruelty for the sake of hurting the other person.
Okay, then what is it about?
It is about the sender clearing their own non-material structure. It's an emotional purge. The text insists that expressing these things promptly prevents you from living a life of regret.
So hitting send on that difficult message or finally voicing that resentment isn't about destroying the opponent. It's about the physiological release.
Exactly. It's that massive spike of adrenaline followed by deep structural calm. You are clearing the cognitive load. You're resetting your operating system so it can evolve toward truth, goodness, and beauty.
Because truth requires a clean channel.
Yes, you cannot reach genuine goodness if you are hiding behind a mask of polite, seething tolerance. Remember Bu Hui, the guy who bounced back the Grim Reaper?
Yeah, the rabbit racer.
Right. He survived because his non-material structure was joyous and completely unblocked. Expressing love, hate, joy, anger, and dissatisfaction promptly is the author's way to ensure you don't end up on your deathbed begging for fish meat.
Wow. It is a complete paradigm shift regarding how we interact with every single person in our lives. So let's try to synthesize the journey we've been on today.
Sounds good.
The core message from Swethang's Dancing the Tango on the Edge of Death is basically unapologetic. Do not wait until your Hwajia, your 60th year, to start living an unfiltered life.
Don't eat the fish head if what you really want is the meat.
Exactly. Stop pretending that drowning in emotional credit card debt under the guise of tolerance is a virtue. The author is telling us it is a mask that is slowly, quietly suffocating your true self.
The mandate here is to clear the ledger immediately. Dance your tango loudly. Express your love instantly. Voice your anger the moment it sparks, and just let your human nature breathe without restriction.
Because the illusion of time is just that, an illusion. We are all, at this very moment, standing on the edge of death.
Right now. Every second.
It gives you so much to rethink about your daily interactions. But I want to leave you, our listener, with one final provocative thought to mull over based on this
Oh,
philosophy.
this is a good one.
The text argues that abandoning silent tolerance and instantly broadcasting every flare of love, hate, and resentment will ultimately clear our emotional blockages and lead society to true harmony and rationality.
That's the claim, yeah.
But take a hard look at the reality of that. What if every single person in your life, your family, your coworkers, the person who cuts you off in traffic, suddenly adopted this exact policy today?
Just zero filters.
Zero filters. What if they refused to filter a single emotion and instantly shared every raw grievance and every intense adoration with you the second they felt it?
It's hard to even imagine.
Right. Would that instantaneous honesty actually create a beautiful, civilized utopia of unblocked souls? Or would it simply replace our quiet internal suffering with absolute deafening chaos?
It's a very fine line.
It's a fascinating question, and definitely something to think about before you start writing that internet article. Until next time, keep digging deep.